Hey, what is up? It is Joe in Vegas here. So I don't know what's going on. I'm just on a pretty good run of shows. I feel like the last bunch of shows I went to have all been pretty much legends. So I don't want people to start thinking I'm just giving great reviews to every show. I just happen to be on a pretty good run. And tonight I was very fortunate to see Sting. Um, I've been going to shows my whole life, and I have never seen Sting. I have never seen the Police, so it's always a nice treat when I get to see someone that's, oh God, fuck, he's been part of my life my whole life. I mean, I remember being a little kid watching MTV, and by then he was already solo. I remember the early Police days, and then I remember his solo videos, like Wrapped Around My Finger and stuff like that. It just he was pretty big on MTV back in the day. So he's one of those guys also that have been part of my life for a long time, as far back as I can remember. But he has a new residency here. It was supposed to be last year. It got pushed off by COVID. So it's been, I think he said it was the fifth or sixth show. Sting is one of those guys. He's an icon. You kind of forget how many hits he had. The guy had a ton of hits. He had a ton of hits with the Police, then he had a ton of hits solo. And collectively, it makes for a great show. I've said this before in one of my other videos, my other reviews. I think it was the hologram one for Whitney Houston. I think Vegas is going to have a really big problem in 20 years. The artists that are now doing these residencies, these are iconic people. These are people who have bodies of work that are 30, 40 years old, that have hit after hit after hit for so long, are perfect for a residency because it's literally the shows are 30 songs of hit, 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 hit. So it makes it such a great show. And I don't know what the heck Vegas is going to do in 20 years. I really don't. That's why I think we might be seeing holograms of these guys who you can see not now live. You might be seeing holograms in 20 years. But for now, it's really a treat to get to see some of these old guys. I think they're tired of touring. I don't think they want to travel the world anymore. I think Vegas is writing pretty big fucking checks, especially since COVID. They really want to get these guys back in here and get people in the shows. And it was packed. And it was a Wednesday night, and it was packed. To go through the set list, he comes out really casually in the corner with an acoustic guitar and starts playing a really acoustic version of Roxanne just for a few minutes. Really cool. Kind of sets the mood. Then he goes right into the hits: Message in a Bottle, If You Love Someone, Set Them Free, Englishman in New York, Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic. At this point in the show, I do remember thinking to myself, this is really chill. This is a really chill show. He's a chill guy. His voice is chill, but it felt like taking a Xanax. It was just really cool and hip and funky. You felt like you were in a little jazz club, kind of. In I don't know. It was something about it. The vibe was very relaxing. And the truth is, personally, I had a long, hard day, and it was kind of what the doctor ordered. It was nice. It was just a really chill, funky sound, and I was digging it. It was great. Then he got into a bunch of his newer stuff or stuff that's not as popular. Rushing Water, If It's Love, Fields of Gold, that's an older one. Brand New Day is an older one. I Hung My Head, Shape of My Heart. And then right around there, I felt like right after that is when he got into the monster hits. And the crowd came alive. He came a little bit more alive. People started getting up from their seats. It happened during Wrapped Around Your Finger. It was really when I saw the crowd really start to get into it. And Walking on the Moon, and So Lonely also. That was one of the times also where I saw the crowd really start getting up and dancing, and everyone having a good time. It was pretty crowded. It was a good crowd. After So Lonely, he did Desert Rose, which is just a cool song. That was later in his, I mean, not later in his career because it's 20 years ago, but I remember that came out, I think in the 90s. I like, it was just a unique kind of song. It had that Arabic vibe to it. Cool song. I was happy he sang that. Then he got into the monsters. King of Pain, Every Breath You Take, which was so good. Roxanne was so good. And then he closed out with Next to You, and then he did the fake encore and came out and played Fragile. So, great show. Great great show. He's one of these iconic guys. I don't know how you say anything bad about him. He looks great. He looks the fucking same. Everybody knows the stories with his tantric sex and all the shit that he does, but he looks the fucking same. He really does. I don't know. I know he eats healthy and works out and does his yoga and I don't. It doesn't look cosmetic. It actually looks pretty natural. So it's nice to see that. Usually you go to some of these shows, like, you're like, fuck, we're getting old, god damn it. But he actually looked good. He looked good. He looked young. He looked youthful. He's a solo. I mean, he's got a band behind him, but he's at the end of the day, he's a solo artist. He doesn't do much, honestly. He's not running around the stage. He's a bass player. I mean, it was funky. He was chill. It was a good show. I really enjoyed it. It was a very enjoyable show. If you want to see a good show in Vegas and he's here, and just hear all these hits, hit after hit after hit, with a real funky vibe. It's not this like heavy duty rock and roll show where you're standing for 2 hours straight and really, really getting into it and stuff like that. It was more of a kick back, enjoy the music, enjoy the show. I mean, that's all I can really say about it. Going scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a solid 8.5, 8.4, somewhere in that ballpark. It's not a show that's gonna knock you off your fucking socks and walk out of there like, what the fuck was that? That was amazing. It's more of a show where I know with 100% certainty I am going to be singing Police and Sting songs for the next 3 days in my head. Just walking around being walking on the moon. Just singing it to myself. And that's why those songs have been around for 40 years. That's why. Because the music itself is great. He performed them perfectly. You can't ask for anything more. He's Sting. He's exactly like you see in the videos. He's exactly like you think he would be. And I'm so happy I got to see him. I hope his residency lasts. I know he's here for a little bit longer. But just a good show. Very solid. Again, 8.4, 8.4, 8.5 out of 10 for sure. Go see it if you have a chance. Thanks for listening. Subscribe if you made it this far. I would appreciate it. See you at the next show. Bye-bye.